Hiya! Welcome! Just a pretty quick record mail opening to do for you today. I've got 2 records inside of this mailer, and this is a purchase from Dig Music. I've used Dig Music once or twice before. They used to be known as Rhino Records, which is also the name of a subsidiary record label of Warner Brothers. Dig Music, formerly known as Rhino, is still a Warner's imprint, but that's not particularly very interesting. But what's in here is interesting, to me at least, and I hope it will be to you as well. So if you cast your mind back to when I did a 3-way record trade recently with Geeky Heathen and Not Suitable for Mum, Geeky Heathen was the one who sent records to me, sent me 2 great records, including one by a certain massive selling female solo artist that I'd been after for my own collection for a while, and I was so delighted to get that particular album. I thought, you know what, I want to add some more by this singer to my collection. I've got a fair few already, but it's nowhere near being a comprehensive collection, and I don't think I want all her albums, but I certainly wanted all her 1980s stuff. And there is one 1980s album and then one from the year 2000, I think, in here. Both were discounted at Dig Music. I think their Black Friday sale from the end of November has just kind of transitioned seamlessly into a Christmas sale. And I think it's all the same stuff that's had money off for quite some time. Aha, lovely. So these 2 albums, I think, were something like £14 something on Dig's website. Probably about as cheap as I could get them brand new from anywhere. I didn't bother looking on Amazon or even eBay or Discogs. I just wanted to get these and, you know, not sort of shop around and try and save what would probably be a few pence, if that. But I'm delighted that I've added both of these. One in particular, probably the first one I'll show you actually, to my collection, as this one really does kind of fill a gap. I'm talking about Madonna's 1989 album, I think it is, Like a Prayer. Now I've got all of Madonna's studio albums that she released in the 1980s, from the one I was referring to that Glenn sent me, her debut album, or simply titled Madonna, and then through Like a Virgin, True Blue, Who's That Girl, although it's debatable whether that's an official Madonna studio album, as it does feature other artists. It's really a soundtrack album. But Like a Prayer was one that I've been wanting to get. I thought about getting an original pressing, as I've got a few more earlier proper 1980s pressings in my Madonna collection, but this one's just standard black vinyl as well. It's been at Dig Music in stock for a while, so I thought, you know what, as it's like £14 and a few pence, let's just get it today. So the big track on here is probably, I don't know, it's either my first or my second favourite Madonna single of all time, or maybe my third. I kind of changed my mind over my top 3 Madonna singles quite regular, but the title track, Like a Prayer, I think if I'd put my glasses on I still wouldn't be able to read this really small and light text here very well. I think the single Express Yourself is also on this album. Like I say, released tail end of the 1980s. Like a Prayer, phenomenal single. Madonna at her absolute peak, I think a lot of people would say. And I'm just happy that I've got Like a Prayer. So that was like the best of the 2 purchases for me. But this next album, I wouldn't say it's impulsive, because I probably would have wanted to get this eventually. But I wasn't intending on collecting particularly any era of Madonna from kind of after the late 90s, really. I've not got any 1990s Madonna albums in my collection yet. There is one in particular that I want, Ray of Light, from that would have been 97, but the second hand and aftermarket prices are a little bit up there, so I'm kind of hoping that might get a reissue at a more sensible price at some point. But an album that I did pick up, because it was the same price as Like a Prayer at Dig, was 2000's Music. Got a little bit of a hype sticker there. It contains the singles Music and American Pie. American Pie is, of course, Madonna's cover of the, what was it, Don McLean song, I think. Yeah, I am familiar with the singles of this album, certainly. I think What It Feels Like for a Girl, that was a good single. So I'm kind of glad I have got this now, even though I wasn't really intending to collect Madonna yet, anyway, from this kind of turn of the millennium, early noughties period. It's got like a kind of rodeo, cowgirl style sleeve to it. There again, it's standard black record. I'm not going to take it out for you. I'm going to keep this video to be a pretty quick one today. Like a Prayer kind of completes my Madonna in the 80s collection, but I've jumped ahead of the 90s because there isn't really any of the 90s albums I've seen yet that are available brand new for a reasonable price, but I'm going to keep looking, and I may treat myself to some more original pressings from the 90s Madonna eras if I see any at a good price from Discogs. But record collecting's weird. Stuff that's like decades old, it's either really cheap, like dirt cheap, usually because it's in poor condition, or it's like stupidly expensive. There's very rarely any middle ground. But I do like to search on Discogs and eBay as well to a lesser extent, so if I can find that hallowed middle ground, then I'll certainly pick up more Madonna for my collection. As like I say, Ray of Light in particular I do want at some point, as I think that's a really, really good album, judging by the singles that came off it anyway. But in the meantime, I'm very happy that after recently acquiring Madonna's very first solo album, I've now got 1989's Like a Prayer and 2000's Music from Dig here today. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this quick record mail opening or unboxing, and I want to say special thanks, as I always do, to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. Please see my referral links and my Patreon page and Facebook group link all down in the description text box. You can help support this channel, the work that I do upon it, and of course in relation to Facebook and all my other social media that I always put on screen. It's just a good way to stay in touch and have a chat with me, basically. I'm going to go now, and I probably will listen to Like a Prayer first. I am still a bit more excited about getting this one in the collection, but although it's not an era of Madonna that I think's massively amazing, I'm still excited about Music from 2000 as well. And American Pie, to be fair to Madonna, that was a great cover version. I do like her version better than the original, and therefore I do hope that you will join me again next time for my next Madonna, or anyone else for that matter, record collecting video. Cheers everyone. See ya!